Good morning, everyone. I guess almost everyone has joined, so we'll be able to start in a minute. Yes. Good morning, all. I guess we can start now because almost everybody has joined. I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic today. I can guarantee you that whenever you will speak next time onwards, you will remember me and you will remember this lecture. This lecture will have that impact on you. This is not just for your third semester Bachelor of Engineering one subject, right, where one topic is there which can help you to get your score, but this is going to help you all over your life. In your coming days, it will help you. Before I start, instead of putting things simply, I turned around and tried to make it complex a little bit to test your knowledge. I know that some of you must have searched in the Google, what is it? If not, do it. And if you know about this word, please let me know. Is there anybody who has any idea about the word which is there on the screen? If I take you in the past and help you to understand this word by telling you that we had studied root words, and in the root words there was one word called phobia. Phobia means fear. Exactly. Lisa, the way it looks structured, you must have consulted. Fear of public speaking. So glossophobia. Glossophobia is ranked as top 10 phobias out of 650 phobias. That means there are more than 650 imaginary fears. And when somebody listen to that, oh my God, 650 phobias, that kind of fear is also called phobophobia. There is a full list of these words. You can Google it out. See, Lisa, if you can unmute your mic and tell me that how could you find the meaning of this word? Lisa, if you can tell me.
Sir, I had learnt it from Google itself.
Yes. See, the most important lesson of the day I would like to teach you is your first teacher, your first friend is Google. And in the month of September, I'm coming to you people with one surprise where you will help Google and Google will appreciate it. See, we seek help from Google every time, every day. We don't know that how many times we Google it out. It's a very common thing. Instead of asking somebody, we Google it. So here in the month of September, I'm working on something, right? So by after a month or so, I'll get the things cleared, right? I'll tell you that how you can help Google. See, Google will appreciate your help. Google needs your help, but that's a different story. Well, we'll not touch upon today. Today we want to focus on glossophobia. Glossophobia is the fear, rather imaginary fear of public speaking. People would like to die, they feel like dying, right? They feel like congested, they feel like frustrated, they feel like depressed, they feel like tensed when they are there to speak in the public. So it's a big problem when you face the audience, right? When there are more than 10,000 people sitting there in the audience and 20,000 eyes are looking at you, oh my God, you feel that what happens to you? I tell you, it happened with me too, right? Last year only, before 1 year and some days, I'd been there in Ahmedabad in one function. Fine. I was there sharing the stage with Honorable Home Minister of India. Fine. Amit Saji and all, CM sir and all the dignitaries of Gujarat, they were there on the stage and I was there. I was asked to speak for 5 minutes. When I shook hand with everybody, went to the podium and looked at the audience, 5 seconds, I could not utter a single word because pressure was from both the sides, from the stage and from the opposite side of the people. 10,000 plus people were there sitting in that pandal, and the dome was full of people. So that can blow your mind like anything. Another experience I had in Rajkot where I was teaching 2,000 people together. I was representing, Rajkot Municipal Corporation to how to keep your house clean. I was teaching them how to do that, and at that time even it was fully AC, and I was sweating wet. Thing is that no matter what the things are, but that pressure works. So how to eliminate that pressure, how to reduce that pressure, right? That we need to learn today in this session. So in that way, this session is going to be very important. Fine. So let's start. Today, actually, the name of this session is public speaking. I converted into glossophobia. Fine. We are switching to unit number 3. Please acknowledge this. Please make a note of this, that we have completed 2 units and we are switching to unit number 3 today. So this is about public speaking. And today, for closing remarks and during the session, I'll ask Disha and Drashti, right? So I guess Disha and Drashti, there is no problem with you people. Are you both okay if I ask you questions to share the closing remarks?
Yes, sir.
Drashti,
Yes,
done.
sir.
Okay. What about fine? Done, done. Okay. Disha, I think, yeah, Disha did it. Drashti, what about you?
Yes, sir. No problem.
Oh, done. Disha. Disha, if you can unmute your mic and tell me that you are comfortable to share the closing remarks today.
Yes, sir.
Done. Okay, thank you. Okay. Now, the people who are there in the business of public speaking, they are also called public speaker and orator. Oratory skills. Oral means, we studied in first unit verbal communication. In verbal communication, there is oral communication and written communication. Oral means word spoken. That means the people who are in the business of speaking or spoken word, they are called in oratory business. Fine. So, even that, if you look at this Oral B, that toothbrush, right? So, oral brush, oral that is related to your mouth. Fine. So, oratory is the word. So, people who are there, very good speaker, they are also called orator. Fine. And this is the art of performing a live speech. Fine. The way we have live dokra, right? Live mesu, right? In the marriage functions and receptions, live bhajia, right? These are the things that we miss only nowadays. Fine. We can look at the pictures, we can Google it out, we can look at the image, and we can say yes, we missed it. If you're lucky enough, your mom can help you to find it out in your thought into reality. Otherwise, you can see the pictures. That's all. Fine. Okay. So live audience, you address and you perform your speech, that is exactly or actually what we call public speaking. See, public speaking is a kind of talent, it is a skill, and that can be polished, that can be learned, that can be modified, updated, enlarged. It is possible, and it is possible through two things. One is proper guidance, and number two is proper practice. Practice and guidance can help you to improve yourself, but you need to be after it. Okay. Now, when you have excellent public speaking skills, you can be an excellent communicator. And when you are excellent communicator, your verbal and non-verbal communication skills are sharpened. They are perfect. They are mind-blowing. They're awesome. That means you can convey whatever ideas you have, whatever thoughts you have that you want to share with somebody. You can do that. That is the ultimate objective of any communication, right? You select any means, any process, does not make difference. The thing is that it should be conveyed in the same way it should be conveyed. Now we can divide the purposes of public speaking, right? People speak in public for three different reasons, broadly speaking. One is to inform, when you want to share information, right? To pursue, to take follow up, or to discuss something, and to entertain. I have examples, right? Beautiful examples for all these three things. So, I'm going to share here with you people. Look at this. When you're going to talk about a business plan, when any multi-level marketing company that comes to Hemogardi Hall and addressing people that you are here, and if you have this many members under you and you can reach there, this kind of things come there, right? When you talk about a business plan, if your turnover is this much, after 5 years, if you put in this much efforts, and it can reach to that one. So that thing, talks about very recently, Mukesh Ambani, right? He delivered a public speech on AGM of Reliance. That was public speaking. And he talked about, he blew the minds of people, right, with geoglass. So this is what we call, to inform somebody. So there can be business presentations, seminars in colleges, class presentations. Tomorrow onwards, when we have book review presentations one by one, that would be class presentation. Fine. And there are examples, other examples too. For example, when I deliver a lecture, right, it's also public speak because I deliver lecture, I deliver speech to inform something, to educate somebody. When you want to convince somebody, I must tell you one thing, that if you want to improve your public speaking skills, you go to the YouTube and find out Barack Obama's last speech when he was there for presidential election. Fine. First time, that 40-minute speech. And in that speech, there are more than seven communication experts. They have analyzed that speech, that how and what is the pattern of Obama to deliver a speech. I tell you one hint. His one pattern was he used to repeat one thing twice, thrice, same thing in a different way. For example, coming 15th August, we need to hoist our national flag and salute it at every house. Then I'll say that I want everyone to have that tricolor, right, flying high in everybody's terrace. So tricolor is national flag, right? The same thing, but I deliver. So he tried to convince people in this way. When same thing comes in a different way, again and again, that goes deeper to your minds. So that is something, to convince people. You can use public speaking. And most of the people, if you go with in the field of politics, right, the one quality that you need is you need to be an orator, you need to be a public speaker. You go anywhere, any stage, any place, right, you can go and speak. If you can do that, you have got bright chances, right? I don't provoke anybody to be there, right, but it can be done. Entertaining, right? So there are people who create jokes, stand-up comedians. Fine. So if you go to South movies, right, Brahmanand, Brahmanand, you go to any South movie, you will find that funny character, that monkey-like character in every movie. You will be surprised to know that Brahmanand's net worth is around 1,000 crore. Yes, you can make your eyes wider. His net worth is 1,000 crore. Kapil Sharma's net worth is somewhere around 19 crores. Fine. So Kapil Sharma is there to entertain, deliver speech, stand-up comedian. You take anyone, right? They speak in public, and their purpose is to entertain. That's why entertaining public speaking. I don't think that there should be any doubt in this. However, if you have any doubt or question, query up to now, please let me know. Disha Drashti, is it clear up to now? Can we move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Now, we need to select a pattern. The way I was telling that Obama had a different pattern. So we need to select a particular pattern to go. Fine. So how we can go with that? So there are different points I have jotted down, right? I'll read it for you people and I'll explain you wherever required. The first one says that topical moves. That means from idea to idea, theme to theme. We take it and one by one we, topic by topic, we go with it. Chronological. Chronological is the time. So time wise, sequence wise, you talk about the farthest past, near past, present, and future. So go in that chronological way. Classification, right? Classification means categorical. In the last lecture, we understood this. Fine. So category wise, you touch upon one category and you talk about it. Then you touch upon second category, you talk about it. So categorical, yeah, you can go. Problem and solution, cause and effect. See, the things are overlapping. You will find everywhere. Fine. Okay. So problem and solution. When you talk about different problems, you talk about a problem and then you talk about a solution. Then cause and effect. Right? There are reasons. So what are the problems or causes in the root, and you how you can overcome from that. So that can help you. Selecting an appropriate method. Okay. This is something that requires your personal, what we call it, personal skill, and that varies from person to person. So I cannot say that there is a one thumb rule. Right? It varies from person to person. One is speaking from memory. If you can do this, you are on the top. Right? From the memorize, you can speak. Right? Speaking from the manuscript in the beginning, in the first phase of your oratorship, it is advisable that you take a manuscript, or I tell you, fine, I tell you that you can have tips, points, notes. You can go with that. Nowadays, what happens that people use teleprompters. You must have observed that Modi ji, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and these kind of giant leaders, they have the teleprompters, right? So they can find the points there and they can speak on that. Impromptu is top of everything, right? It's just like you plug and play, USB 3.0. Fine. It's like a movie, double click and you start playing the movie. Impromptu requires lots of reading, lots of discussion in your mind, lots of analysis. So that if it is there in your mind, you can speak on any topic at any time. I can give number one, about everything it is there. And speaking from notes, if you are not comfortable to take that manuscript for 4 or 5 pages, you can not prepare notes and you can go with it. The way I told you before 2 lectures, I use speaking from notes. Fine. So what I do is I prepare a notes on my mobile phone in a notes, right? I look at it and then I go and speak without looking at it, then memorize it. There are situations when you need to speak impromptu, fine. Even it happens sometimes, but most of the time, if you want to go with a structured one, if you want to make leave kind of impact, fine. So in that way, you need to go with that. Fine. You must have seen in the movies that the hero comes on the stage suddenly and starts speaking, but he must have taken 4 5 takes. Who knows that? It's edited one, so we cannot think about it. If it is there, it is done. You can go with it. Swami Vivekanand can do that. Osho can do that because they have lots of reading with them. Fine. Jay Vasavada is good in that, right? There are lots of people around us, right? They are good speakers. Fine. So it's time to connect. 1 minute to get connected. Informative speeches are most commonly used by sales and marketing people to attract the interest of potential clients in their products. Parth is the fastest finger first. Fine. Everybody says true. I say false. Right? I don't go with mimics or those gimmicks every time. Read the question carefully. Everyone. Informative speeches are most commonly used by sales and marketing people to attract the interest of potential clients in their products. If you can read the first line, persuasive public speaking, and now you look at the question. Hello. Now getting idea about it. Fine. So don't rush for the answer. I told you earlier that for me, speed is not important, accuracy is important. Fine. So just like when you go and just ask people, simply ask people, you sharing the details. But even to convince people, any word, anywhere, it comes about convincing, do a discussion, or attraction. It would be persuasive, not informing, because information is one way. It has nothing to do with the reaction, response of the listeners, of the audience. Okay. Now, is everybody clear with this? Hello? Pat, you were the first one to answer. Are you clear?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay, done. So, steps to a good speech. When can you consider a speech as a good speech? Number one, you select a topic. See, I want you people, if things set right, I want some of you people to participate in Times of India's public speaking contest. Otherwise, we are going to organize at MU speaking contest. Fine, if things set right, we'll definitely go for it. Last time we had done that. So this time we are also planning for it. So I want everyone to understand, everyone to participate, everyone to be sincere about it. First is selection of topic. You select the topic, right? How you select topic, that depends altogether on your public speaking, how it goes, successful or failure. It depends on the title. Number two, you analyze the audience. What kind of people you are going to address? If you know about audience, you can give what they require. The buffet strategy. You take what you want. You don't take what are their things, right? So you give what is expected, what is required. You won't give what you have. Researching and planning. This is very important. When you talk about facts and figures, this is very important thing. Before the lecture, I searched again that is glossophobia in top 10 phobia list or not. Even though I was knowing, fine, but you need to make sure that whenever you speak, whatever you speak, should be tested. Okay. Organizing. Organizing is essay writing, introduction, body, and conclusion. How you organize your introduction, how you start your first sentence. I tell you that you can add one flavor of humor. Fine. So in public speaking, when you meet somebody one to one, you go to any TED videos, right? 18 minutes time, they made the people laugh for 3 times with their sentences, sense of humor. That flavor you can add. Wording is combination of your verbal and non-verbal, right? So how you complement, how your body language complement to your words and vice versa. Next one is developing confidence and overcoming fear. How you can go for it, how you can develop your confidence, and how you can come out from that phobia. That is very important. So one by one, we are going to talk about these things. How you can select the topic? Simple. Do you have the background knowledge about it? Is your audience interested about it? If not, you create the interest. And what is the occasion of the speech? Fine. So that is important. On the day of patriotism, 15th of August, you talk about pollution, you talk about the current issues of India. It will not be aligned with the situation. Make sure that your selected topic is aligned with the situation. Audience analysis, I told you that language wise, caste, creed, age, background, education, understanding, right? All these things are there, now that comes under the category of audience analysis. You scan the audience, right, and then you go for it. I have one lecture to deliver this month, right, in one university of Kolkata. So it's about teachers. So I asked 5 7 minutes, right? Different questions to the organizer, that who would be the audience, from where the people would be there, what would be their background, right? And will they be knowing about the topic I'm going to talk about? Or have they been informed or not? Fine. Everything I inquired. Accordingly, I prepare my presentation and deliver the talk. I should know what the audience is. For example, if I talk about this and one student from the class says, "Sir, I know we know about this," you just leave it. Next, what will happen then? There's a problem. Fine. So make sure that you have analyzed the audience properly. Now, how to make your speech better? You ask these questions to yourself. That's why I put it here. Questions to ponder, ponder to think. Fine. What are their interests, likes and dislikes? Are they familiar with the topic or not? Is their attitude hostile or friendly? That means, have they been forced to sit there or they have come by choice? What is the size of the group? If it's a small size, you can handle it. If it's a big one, there can be problem because anybody can be hijacker, right? And they can hijack your lecture, hijack your session. What is the range of age group? If the most of the people are the similar age group, it would be easy for you. But if the people are there from the various age group, from 8 years to 80 years, it can be a bit difficult to handle. Gender distribution, we need to understand that. If you talk about girls, right, boys will feel bad. If you talk about boys, girls will feel bad, and some boys also will feel bad. Right? It's about injustice. Fine. So we need to come out from the gender biasness. Fine. Okay. Researching and planning. First thing is what Lisa did in the beginning of the class. Google. Then you arrange the gather information. Then you plan for proper opening, anecdote, short story, any incident, any quotation, any statement, any proverb, whatever is there, which is relevant with the topic, you go with that. Fine. For example, if the same thing I had been there in the classroom, I would have started like telling a story. There was a boy that was asked to deliver a speech, right? And what happened in his mind for 1 day, 24 hours before the speech was to be delivered, right? That that mental war which was going on, right? And how that boy came out from that and he delivered a speech. And then I would have told you that it's about public speaking, glossophobia, right? So that can leave a kind of impact. Speaker can prepare a brief and concise notes and index cards, fine, but the number of cards should be limited. As I told you that you can prepare cheats, notes, fine. These cheats are not for cheating. These cheats are there to help you that you should not forget any words or any points. That's why. Then you organize it. You divide your entire speech into three parts, as I told you earlier. Fine, it's easy to go with that. Verbal and non-verbal. As I told you that should be complement, or your non-verbal communication should complement to your verbal communication. So it should be in sync. Fine. And even your speech, we studied paralanguage in first unit. So it should not be monotonous. There should be variation in your speeches. This is one example of how wording, verbal and non-verbal, can be there. Have a look at it for 1 minute. Fine. Okay. So, Justy and Disha, is it okay up to now? We can go ahead, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, fair enough. Then you can develop your confidence and overcoming fear. The last point, fine, of this section. This is only one thing: practice. The more you practice, the more you can be confident. Simple rule, thumb rule for a success of anything. Fine. You must be sincere, serious about, and confident about your speech. Fine. Don't take it lightly. Take it for granted. Fine. Prepare it everything, whatever the small function or big function it is. Fine. You make sure that you do the best and nothing less than the best. This is the way you can develop it. Time to reconnect. Make sure that you understand the question first. Prior information about the audience can help the speaker present well. It's about audience analysis. Nandini is the fastest finger first. Good. Let's see how it goes. Fine. Okay. Is it that you type every time true, that there are 50% chances of getting the question corrected or answer right? Some people must have decided that whatever the question is, it is true or false, we write true. They are positive people. Is it so? Fine. Fortunately, it is true and happy for you people. So make sure that when there's a twisted question, you read it, understand it, and then you go with it. How to make your speech interesting, right? Will be a little bit faster in a way to go through it because we have less time. You've got 15 minutes remaining, and we have many things to cover. Right? You make your beginning catchy. Catchy means attractive, quotation or proverbs or whatever things are there. Use humor and heat. Sense of humor should be there. For sense of humor, I salute, I respect one person, GB Show, George Bernard Shaw. Right? I have not seen anybody who has better sense of humor than him in English. Fine, so you go with it and you will find it. Even Khushwant Singh, even if you read his stories, you will find that sense of humor. Fine. Use body language appropriately aligned with your words. Voice modulation, paralanguage, examples, instances to support your arguments, and and not and on empathic note, right? So with the same energy, right? You go with that. It should not be like it has been abrupted or sudden close. It should look like that. Okay, there is an effect. I guess Harshjit would agree with me that do we have Harshjit today with us? Yeah, Harshjit, you can tell us better. It's about the fading out effect. Slowly you go out, right? So fading in is starting of the music and fading out, right? So most of the songs you must have seen that kind of thing, right? So here that should have that fading effect, fading out effect, one, and there should be one intelligent point, one point to make the audience think about it. That doesn't mean that you ask a question, fine? It can be simply repetition of the first statement that you explained. This is a small video that I'll give you in homework to watch it. We don't have much time rather. It's a 7 minutes video, but this will blow your mind and clear your lots of doubts, questions, queries. So when you get free time, please do that. Okay, what should be avoided in public speaking? Again, time to reconnect. But I guess this question is related to the video, so we can just think about it. What should be avoided in public speaking? Focus on one major idea, give people a reason to care, build your idea with unfamiliar concepts, make your idea worth sharing. Make your idea worth sharing is the tagline of TED.com. This should be avoided. Build your idea with unfamiliar concepts. You must be familiar with the concepts. Yes, some people say it's C. So when you watch this video, will come to know about it. Fine. Okay. So we'll not go with that 6 7 minutes to to understand that video. Fine. You can do it later on. In this 5 minutes, 10 minutes time, we will like to. Rather, I have got 5 minutes time with me now. Fine. Okay. 5 minutes for public this closing remarks. So everybody, please write down your enrollment number in the chat box so that I can consider your attendance. There are 9 students absent, I guess. Let's see. Fine. Now, for 5 minutes, I would like to talk about the agenda that we had talked about last lab. I could not talk with A batch. In B batch and C batch, we had a confirmation, but in A batch, we could not get the confirmation about the theme. Fine. So here, I would like to ask you people that in B batch there were 2 students who told me that sir, we are ready to help you for to coordinate for B batch and for C batch respectively. Fine. Who were those 2 students for B batch and for C batch? If you can, say hi in your chat box. Yeah, Kushi and Lisa, you were there from B batch or C batch? B batch. Okay. From C batch, there were 2 students. From C batch, yeah. Brunda and who was there with you, Brunda? Yes. Okay. Fine. Uh, Avesh was there. Yeah, there were 3 people, right? Or from A batch, I want somebody, 2 people to help me. The concept is very simple. I'm going to share one Google sheet, right? We have 6 units. Unit number 1 and 2 will go with A batch, or unit number 1 A batch, unit number 2 B batch, unit number 3 C batch, unit number 4 A batch, unit number 5 A batch, B batch, and unit number 6 C batch. So in that way also we can go ahead, or we can keep it simple, right? That A batch first 2 units, B batch third and fourth, and C batch fifth and sixth. How should we go? This would be something we'll be going to talk about for your reference. Step 1 is collection of data and questions. Step 2 is formatting and proofreading. Step number 3 is adding to the database. Step number 4 is compilation for Google Voices Snap. And number 5 is learn with fun. Fine. So what we can do is unit number 1 and 2 that we give to assign to lab A batch. Unit 3 and 4 lab B batch. Unit 5 and 6 C batch. Is this fine, everyone? I'm looking for 2 representatives from A batch. 2 people from A batch who can subdivide the topics from the units among your friends. And we don't want more than 150 questions for one unit. So here 150 plus 150. The total would be 900. Yeah, Kusi says that need to distribute with the whole class. So we need somebody to help in a way. Fine, because you can find out. Okay, Hanil is there. Hanil and Parth. Fine. Joy is there. Fine. Kushi, it would be good that if you go with the lab students, because it would be easy to identify. It would be because here everybody would be doing standalone. I tell you one thing. For example, you got one point, process of communication. That's all. So you need to go with 10 questions only in the same Google sheet at your time. You upload it. That's all. Fine. It is not, we are not going to do anything in sync with anybody else, that we need to talk with somebody, we need to ask somebody or somebody discussion and all. You divide your work in a way that these are the topics given to you, and you, while uploading the questions, you will be able to see that okay, these are the questions which have been there. I'm going to divide unit wise Excel sheets, so we'll get to know about topics. And if the questions are overlapping, you can change the questions. Whoever has done the first will consider that. So in that way, there won't be a problem. Done. Okay. So now, Disha and Drasti, if you can, share your closing remarks. We'll have public speaking process in terms of practices and testing during lab sessions. Whatever we do right now for closing remarks, opening remarks, this is for the practice of our public speaking. But we'll do that. We'll do that in that way. By 15th of August, I expect you people to have your own websites, right? We need to run and rush. I know that you have strong legs. I'm just giving you some reasons to run fast. Fine. Disha Dusty, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Today, sir told about glossophobia public speaking. The purpose of public speaking are to inform, pursue, and entertaining. There are some appropriate method like speaking from memory, notes, etc. Then learn about step of good speech like selection of topic, analysis, audience, and researching and planning, etc. Then learn about how to make speech interesting. Thank you, sir.
Fine. Okay. Next. Okay. Disha, you can nominate somebody, some of your friend. Hanil. Hanil has left the meeting. See the timing. Miroli also seems to be your best friend. She also left. See, Meloni has already left. Disha, you are slow. This is true friendship. People know you. Fine. Okay. I guess Vrunda. Vrunda, are you there? Okay. Vrunda, would you like to contribute as a for closing remarks, if you can,
Yes, sir.
please?
Hello, everyone. Today's session was about public speaking and types of fear that are related to communicate while we are public speaking. Uh, Today we learned many things, how we can come over the fear of public speaking and how we should prepare for our speeches, types of speeches, and what are the impact of good public speeches on the audience. And we learned many new things. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Fine. So two things I'll do. One, today's quiz I'll share in the group, and number two, that video link again I'll share in the group for your reference. Fine. So tomorrow onwards we are going for book review presentations. So please make sure that you all have your presentations ready with you by tomorrow a batch. Fine. Thank you very much. I'll also share the link for uh, that Google spreadsheet for your reference. Fine. So you can start updating your details, your questions into that. Thank you.